feel like nobody cares? Like it doesn't matter if you're there, as if you're not even there? Do you feel like you're invisible? That's a terrible feeling, and I can relate to it. But I'm here to tell you, maybe a stranger amidst the sea of many strangers on the internet, energetically, you were drawn to this video right now, and it's for you to hear this message. It does matter that you're there. You matter to me. That's why I keep making videos, even if nobody watches. Because somebody does. Somebody does. Even if it's one person, somebody saw it. And maybe it served as a reminder that you're not all alone, even if you feel totally overlooked. Even if you feel like no matter how hard you have tried for so long to do it right, and then somebody else says, I've been doing it for 6 months and it was so hard, but then I hit it big and I'm making $100,000 a month. And you're like, really? I've been trying this for 45 years and I'm broke. And so maybe you're feeling down on yourself. Or maybe you feel overlooked because you've hit it big and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares like you thought that they would. I remember reading a story. Tell me if you know this book. I have no idea what this was from. It was years ago, but I remember the story. And this guy said, this entrepreneur, he said, the minute he stopped caring about what other people thought in a healthy way, because he realized nobody cares, is when he got his first BMW, and he was so excited, and he got this black BMW, I think, and he thought it was like a real mark of stature, and that he'd finally arrived, and people would really pat him on his back and say, wow, you did it, from nothing to this, you did it. And instead, when his friends saw it, they said, why'd you get that one? Why didn't you get red? Why didn't you get this? Ultimately, it's real nice friends, huh? But have you ever felt that way? You think, once I get this thing, then I'll be really seen. A lot of performers feel that way. If you don't know, I'm Leah. And if you do know, I'm Leah. Same story. My name's Leah. And some people think it's Lee, but it's not. It's Leah. That's okay. It's okay because I don't have it with an H. So they're like, it has to have an H. So see, if you're an odd duck, you spell your name different. I call it CEO. You're Chief Executive Oddball. So if you feel overlooked, if you feel like you're constantly the underdog, if you feel like you've been doing it, you haven't gotten the thing that you're after, the recognition, the pat on the back, it's because nobody cares. The end. So never try. Just give up. You'll always fail. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's not true. It's just that I understand the feeling, and that's the voice inside that says that, right? Just give up. And that's why I said in the last video I made about the good and evil within you. Sometimes this is a result of narcissism. When you've been with a narcissist or raised by one or in a relationship, you always feel not quite good enough. But even if you've never had that, a lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome. So whether you're at the height of your success or you still haven't gotten there and you're like, wait, I'm at the bottom of the mountain. Don't leave me. What happened? Then you got this. And that might be annoying. I know some people are like, oh, I hate the phrase, you got this. I don't want to be encouraged. I want to just soak up my misery. Tell me, no, it's terrible. You don't have it. You don't. You can't do it. It's impossible. But ultimately, unfortunately, and fortunately, nobody does care, which means that you can also go ahead and do your dream because nobody really cares. That's why I can continue to make videos, whether people watch or not, because if they watch, great, maybe somebody will get something that came through me that I got out of my own way to give, And if not, then does a tree fall in the forest? Or wait, what? If you post something and nobody watches, did you ever really post it? I don't know. Does it even matter? I mean, who are these like control police out there going, oh, look, yes, we see the trolls. We all know. Like, I just saw some guy who he had a bunch of views, like, 350,000 subscribers right out the gate and like a bunch of views on his first videos. And then the next videos didn't have as many or whatever. And so some troll was like, oh, look, he fell off. And it's like, who are these people? Those aren't creators. Those aren't your people. Don't worry about those people. Anybody creating doesn't have time to do stuff like that. So if you're feeling all alone, that means you're a creator. That means you're an artist. That means you're an entrepreneur. Artists and entrepreneurs have so much in common because you both take risks. That's why it's show business. You need both of them. You need the artistry and you need the business. And that's why, as an acting teacher myself, I help actors with business and business with artistry. Because this is the craft of being human after all. So I know a lot of people don't understand what I'm doing, and that's okay. So I'm here to tell you, you're not alone if people don't understand what you're doing. Sometimes I don't understand what I'm doing because, see, I'm just following impulse to impulse. So on here on this channel, I like to share whatever's coming up with me. I've shared about how my dad passed away recently and the elder abuse from the caretakers with my stepmom. I don't just share acting tips on here because this is for my own soul's revolution. See, even leaders, teachers, entrepreneurs, artists, you need other people to just share with. So in many ways, this channel is just sharing some of my journey instead of, 3 acting tips on how to be confident on camera. And that's not really the type of acting I teach anyhow, because I teach the Meisner Technique. That's my main course, and that's a 18-month program. That's what many greats have studied, the Meisner Technique, if you're not familiar with it. James Gandolfini, Jeff Bridges, Sir Anthony Hopkins. I mean, this is a real technique on how to get out of your head and into your heart to behave truthfully. So it's not going to be about like, here's 3 tips on how to be confident on camera. What's the next video I do is going to be that. Maybe it will. I'm always evolving, but I'm just called to share more about life on here because these are traps and things that have snagged me in my life, and I just want a place to connect with other people as well. So as much as I want to help and give value, it's also a process for me to sort of dissect and understand so that I can be a better teacher and mother and entrepreneur and all the things. So if you feel very isolated, you are not alone, even though you might feel isolated. You're probably a very creative person. You're probably a leader, entrepreneur, an artist. And if you're having a ton of anxiety and you are doing your craft, you are creating, you are working towards a goal, then go easy on yourself and have some grace. It's coming, I promise. Your time will come. I've seen the tides change so many times with clients of mine, in my personal life, with friends of mine that I've even shared that I used to work with as a stand-up comic 20 years ago who are like wildly famous now. The tides can change very quickly, but they can't if you give up. They can't if you give in to that voice that says you're always going to be overlooked. You're not always going to be overlooked. It's a terrible feeling. I get it. My 7-year-old daughter the other day broke my heart because I see her get so excited to see her friend and she's like, hi, friend, and then her friend's like, looks at her and then runs the other way to go be with her other friend. And my daughter's face just dropped. And she's like, what? You don't want to be with me? I understand that feeling. And she said, I feel so invisible. And I said, oh, honey, that's because you are. You're magical. I'm just kidding. It's just a very normal feeling to feel invisible. I remember in high school being with one of my friends who was super pretty, and she would always turn into like a little girl when we were around boys, and I was never good at being like boop 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 like the little doe in the forest. And I was invisible around her, because the men in high school, the boys were like, ooh, oh, da, 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 look, the pen's floating. I understand that feeling. But yeah, I was friends with everyone in high school. Maybe you can relate to this. I was friends with all the different groups, but I wasn't in one group. So that's a strange feeling, because it's like you can get along with everyone and yet you kind of belong nowhere. That's an eagle. Eagles don't flock together. That's why mastermind groups are so powerful. That's why billionaires will drop 150 grand on a mastermind group just to talk to other billionaires. My classes are much more affordable than that, by the way. But that's what class provides, is an opportunity. Now, who knows when you watch this, because maybe in a year from now I'll be charging 150 grand. You never know. We're all evolving, and inflation, right? That's another reason that things have been so isolating. No, not nobody. A lot of people are talking about it, but the more of us that talk about it, the better. A lot of people aren't talking about the cognitive dissonance that so many have been under the last few years. Friends changed. Businesses changed. People changed locations. Some people lost family members and friends and business associates due to what happened the last 4 years. You know what, right? And not just because of you know what, but because of isolation, because of politics, because of divisiveness. This is sad. This is a reality. So if you're sensitive to all of that, and you're not just numb and in the cognitive dissonance like so many people are, then pat yourself on the back, because you're one of the eagles. I'm really serious. You're a leader. This is a strange time that we're in right now. I've never in my lifetime seen anything like this. In most people's lifetime, you've never seen something like this. It's a normal feeling to feel overlooked, but now more than ever, people are feeling alone and depressed. Maybe you've lost everything. Some people are homeless because of the circumstances of the world right now. It's very upside down. So if you're watching this, maybe you were just supposed to have a stranger tell you that you're seen and you are loved. Energetically, I'm sending you love. Energy is real because you were drawn to this for some reason. And if this isn't for you, share it with somebody who you think it is. The reason I share so much about narcissists and different things, full moon or whatever, is because I am sharing whatever I am called to share. And sometimes it doesn't always make sense. And sometimes it doesn't fit into the soundbite box that everybody wants things to be in nowadays. So if you're feeling like you're not fitting into a particular box, into a particular topic, if you're not a particular niche, if you're you, then good. And you don't have to be one way all the time. It's like we're turning into robots. People have talked about the non-participating players. Is that what it's called? Non-participating characters or something? We've all seen people like that, quite literally. My daughter just pointed one out the other day. He was like walking like this, and she says, I am muscle man, I am robot. And he was like this. So I don't know what was going on in that person's world, but a lot of people are very disconnected to even how they're literally walking through the world. And so if you're awake to just noticing people in your surroundings and how you're feeling, you are one of a kind. You're not like everybody else. But like many leaders, we can see one another from afar and energetically. The problem is that you don't have time a lot of times to hang out with everybody. They're not in big clique groups, right? Because you're busy working, because you're busy creating stuff. Or maybe you just feel like you've been trying to just survive lately. Maybe your health isn't so good, and I send you so much love. Or maybe you're going through a real challenge with family. I just saw a lady on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, and she put up a meme, that says, nobody cares. I have a sad story too. work harder. Her son just died of cancer. He was young. He wasn't even a teenager yet. It doesn't mean that your story doesn't matter. It doesn't mean to shame you and go, oh, somebody's always got it worse. It just means a lot of people have been through a lot of stuff, and you're not alone. You can make it through. People would be shocked. I can't wait until one day I'm brave enough to share everything I've been through. So I'm not quite there yet. It's brave for me to just share this stuff right now. But I've been through so much stuff that people don't even know. People don't even know. And that's a lonely thing too as a leader, because you're not a victim, right? So maybe you don't share a lot of the struggle that you go through. And so then on one hand, everybody just thinks you're fine, so you don't get the support that you deserve. Or they take advantage of you more, or try to put more on your plate because you seem fine. But then if you open up and complain, it's negative, and then maybe people are turned off by that. So I can understand all of this. And this is also too why, if you don't know, I'm an acting teacher. And this is why. Did I mention that already? I don't know. These aren't scripted, if you can't tell. I'm just free flowing. And in acting class, you can do stuff like this. You can actually get in touch with your real feelings in real time, because a lot of times we are monitoring who we're talking to. If you're talking to a narcissist, you may not want to share your big dreams, and you may not want to be authentic, because if you are, they can take advantage of you. So you have to gray rock them, or just a million different things going on in life. And so acting can be a way that you can actually touch in and connect when you feel so isolated, because that's what can make you feel overlooked and isolated, because out there in the world, you're having to act. So when you're connecting with people sometimes in the world, you're having to act, because some people, it's a bunch of BS, right? I know. And yet there's also a lot of good people, but there's a lot of not so nice people out there. Why can't we all just get along? I wish. There's a lot of divisiveness right now. And even I see, because I never cancel people or whatever when I see somebody that has a different political belief and they put on Facebook, just block me and unfriend me and everything if you disagree. I never do, because I just, first of all, I'm kind of curious as what they're going to say. Because see, I like learning about people and things that think differently than me. But if you're like that too, then you're unique, because most people only want friends and family and people to be exactly like them. And if anybody challenges that, they don't want you around. So if you're one of the people who are real free thinker, who can think different ways and learn about different things, and you don't have to adhere to every different thing, then you're unique. You're an eagle, and you're not going to be with everybody all the time. But I see you. I can't actually see you because this is a video, and well, you know how video works. But if you want me to see you, you can jump in one of my classes. I would love to have you. I'm going to link what am I doing? I'm linking it in the description of this video, my new class that's starting. And I have quite a few offerings, but I'm only offering this a few times a year. So if you want in and you want me to actually see you, then click that link and let's see how we might be able to work together. I would love to support you. You're not alone, I promise. So much love to you. Thank you for being here.